This past year has definitely been unique and challenging. For so many in our industry and in our country and on our team, this year's pandemic was stressful. And at Port Houston, we weren't immune to that stress. Everyone has been impacted by COVID-19 in some way or another. And our hearts go out to those who've been sick or who have lost loved ones. But at Port Houston, this year was also filled with growth and opportunity. Hello, and welcome to Port Houston's 2021 Navigating the Future event. I'm Roger Gunther, Executive Director of Port Houston, and I'm here at our Bayport Container Terminal. This is one of the 2 container terminals we own and operate. We all know that 2020 was a year like no other. You can see I'm wearing my mask, which is something that we've all become accustomed to. But I'm going to take this mask off just to talk to you today, but we still require masks for all of our terminals and have implemented numerous safety protocols to keep our employees safe, because that's the utmost important during this pandemic. At Port Houston, when the pandemic hit more than a year ago, we quickly pivoted to a remote workforce for many of our team. But more than 2/3 of our workers are essential, and they continued reporting to work on site every day to move your cargo, to move what the world needed. First, it was the medical supplies and the PPE and the food, all the things that people needed in their everyday lives, and they crossed our docks. Then it was toys and games and bicycles, the stuff we needed while we were all hunkered down at home. And as we entered the latter part of the year, Texans started buying and buying big. The housing market took off, and after being at home for nearly a year, people needed new furniture and the things that make a home. Inventories needed to be replenished. Import volumes surged with all those things that we buy online. And Port Houston was there every step of the way to help get everyone through the year. Now things are changing again and improving. As more and more Americans are vaccinated and the country starts to reopen and we reunite with one another, Port Houston will continue to be there. Over the next 45 minutes, we're going to take you inside Port Houston, behind the scenes, and show you our operations and our successes. We'll share not only how we survived, but thrived during the pandemic, how we've kicked off 2021 and our plans for next year, even the next decade. You'll hear from our members of our team and many of our partners, and for the first time, see our growing infrastructure come to life via video. So let's get started. So as we kick off today's event, let's start with the numbers. In terms of containers, we ended 2020 strong at just under 3 million TEUs. This matched 2019, which was our best year ever. And in 2021, we're off to a solid start. Here's a closer look.
Port Houston provides advocacy and leadership to the Houston Ship Channel and the more than 200 facilities that conduct business along its waters. We generate revenue from 8 of our own facilities, 2 of which we operate. Our facilities not only lead the industry in sustainability, but also include 2 of the fastest growing container terminals in the country. Port Houston's 2020 container activity equaled 2019, which was a record year, and ranked Port Houston as the fastest growing of the top 10 container ports in the U.S. Port Houston's numbers were strong despite the pandemic. It was just 2015 that Port Houston surpassed the 2 million container TEU mark, and the last 2 years we have reached nearly 3 million TEUs. After a slow summer in 2020, container volume rebounded significantly in the fourth quarter to reach unprecedented levels that boosted Port Houston's annual container totals to 2.99 million TEUs. October and November both saw record-setting months, and December 2020 marked the second highest month ever for loaded container imports, a 26% jump over December 2019. Port Houston's overall tonnage across the public wharves reached more than 36 million tons in 2020, which was our second highest tonnage ever, just 4% shy of the record 2019 year. Our team worked through all challenges to continue to provide our customers the world-class customer service you expect from Port Houston. 2021 is off to a great start, beginning with the second highest ever January for TEUs. After a slower February, partially because of an extraordinary winter storm, March containers jumped 20% compared to the same month last year. Steel volumes have been impacted by the oil and gas downturn, but are expected to rebound. Wind turbine activity has been up this year, and Texas leads the nation in the production of wind energy. The automotive sector took a big hit in 2020 too. Auto vehicles volume was down 30% from 2019, but Port Houston still provided a local gateway for more than 44,000 vehicles, helping Houstonians and families all over Texas and the region get where they need to go. Shipments of rolling stock moving through Port Houston got a bounce at the end of the year, as auto imports were up 23% for the final month of 2020 and appear to be rebounding. No matter whether during a downturn or we're breaking records, the Port Houston team, stevedoring partners, and ILA workers deliver with continued productivity and truck turn time levels that keep us competitive for our customers and free of congestion.
None of the success we've had would be possible without our customers, tenants, partners, truckers, and staff. I'm here today with Dominic Sun, our Trade Development Director. When it comes to customers, Dominic, what is our greatest asset?
Well, Roger, I think our greatest asset would be our people. The men and women with their expertise and their singular focus on delivering exceptional customer experience at our terminals is what makes them the greatest assets. They are able to handle 9,000 plus truck transactions in a day, all the while servicing our BCOs and shipper customers alike, along with our carrier partners as well. So their commitment to delivering exceptional customer service and customer experience is what makes them our greatest assets by far.
Well, that's so true. We have a great team for not only Port Houston staff, but all of the essential workers and users of our facilities. So just another thing, we've recently had some new services that we're going to get here in our container terminal. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct. And we're super excited about this, and it couldn't have come at a better time. We will be taking on the maiden voyage call of the vessel One Modern on June 12th at our Barbers Cut facility. This will be part of the new EC6 service that's being deployed by the Alliance. And again, this could not have come at a better time, considering that it will be able to complement our 4 existing Trans-Pacific services already, and it will bring competitive transit times. Not only that, but it will also be competitive transit times specifically from 3 ports from China. And again, you know, it's there to support our growth and demand, and of course, it will support our growth and demand in the future as well.
Well, it's just kind of a sign of the growth that we can continue to see here in
Absolutely.
Houston. We're glad to have it, and you know, we're certainly making all the plans and investments to our facilities to handle this new business. So thanks, Dominic, for joining us here today.
Thank you, Roger.
Well, we've also invited our customers and partners to submit their own videos about working with Port Houston. Let's check those out now.
ProCitrus Network is the year-round supplier of fresh citrus. We've been working with Port Houston since 2009, when we were the first to import lemons into Houston, and we've grown over the years. Our growth has been largely in part to the support from the perishables team at the port. We've faced some real challenges over the years, but the team at Port Houston has really helped us navigate through these challenges and been an extension of our team at times. We're proud to work with Port Houston. Our relationship with them helps us to deliver fresh produce to consumers in Texas and across the United States.
From HMM and on behalf of the management team, I'd like to take this great opportunity to thank our customers, thank our partners, and thank the Port of Houston for providing us the chance to call the Port of Houston. It was based on the demand of our customers, and our senior management team have worked hard to make this happen. We are very excited about coming into the Port of Houston. It's been a long time since we, HMM, have called the Gulf. The launch will happen in the next couple of weeks. We look forward to a successful launch, and thanks to all of you for making this happen.
We are proud to have worked closely with the Port of Houston for decades. The Port has been a strong ally, supporting our ability to reliably reach our customers all around the world. On behalf of ExxonMobil, I would like to thank the Port for their continued engagement, and we look forward to building on our relationship for many years to come.
Gulf Winds has been blessed to be a partner of the Port of Houston for more than 25 years, and really our story is that we've been able to grow right alongside the port. So despite volume surges, despite floods, freezes, hurricanes, any type of disruption, we've seen firsthand that the Port of Houston stays in close contact with all the key stakeholders, and particularly the trucking industry. There's definitely a spirit of collaboration that we see that sets Port Houston apart from other ports around the country that we deal with. And so that's more evident than ever in the industry-leading turn times that we can attest to. And it's been really nice to see the investment that the port continues to do with as far as deepening and widening the ship channel, investment in technology, and of course just being on the forefront of communications with customers to make our jobs easier as trucking partners.
We are very excited to navigate the future with Port Houston. Port Houston is the largest port in the United States across all commodities, and Project 11 is vital to keeping the #1 ranking. Ships' cargo and volumes are ever growing, and we want to be able to expand continually with Port Houston. Cooper Ports America and Port Houston's goals are aligned in that it is to continue to be the #1 port in the United States and handle any and all cargo efficiently as possible.
We are proud to have been serving the customers of the Port of Houston for over 40 years. And the real secret to our success is Port Houston. Over the decades, I have seen Port Houston evolve into a very sophisticated, technological, homogeneous system that embraces the entire community. And Port Houston has always been committed to being the friendliest port on the Gulf. And now I think they're the friendliest and best port in the nation.
Hey, it's really awesome to see so many of our customers that we partner with, both here locally and around the world. And I'm looking forward to seeing many of you, if not all of you, in person very soon. But right now I'm joined today with a member from the ILA district, one of the vital partners in our movement of cargo through our port. Eloy Cortez is with the ILA district, and he's one of the leaders as we continue our partnership for progress here in Houston. We have a great relationship that we've had for many years, and we look to continue that. Welcome. Glad you have you with us today here, Eloy.
Thank you for having me, Roger.
So, you've been on the waterfront for many, many years. You committed to the movement of freight. Kind of what brings you to this, and what made you make that choice?
Well, like many of us in the ILA, I had a relative that worked here on the docks. My brother-in-law, he brought me down here. When I first started, I was just going to come down here to try to make some little college money and advance my career. But after I worked the first vessel, I was hooked. I knew I was part of something bigger, and I knew I wanted to make this my career.
So what kind of changes you've seen here recently, or since the time you've been here on the dock and the movement of freight through Port Houston, and maybe the growth that we've seen?
Yeah, just the sheer growth. When I first started, we only had Barber's Cut Terminal. I think we're maybe moving 1 million TEUs. Now we're doing well over 3 million, and just the sheer mass and the volume, it's amazing. I was happy to be here when Bayport first opened up. I was here on their inaugural first vessel, and like I said, what it was then and what it is today is just amazing.
Our ILA members that work here in Houston do a phenomenal job day in and day out, have been here each and every day through the pandemic, and keep your freight moving through our port. So we're very appreciative and just cherish the relationship we have with the ILA.
I mean, it's a mutual relationship. It's a mutual partnership that we have, as you mentioned. I'm proud to represent the women and men of the ILA. During the pandemic, we never did quit working. In fact, our work increased, and we were here every single day. Just like everybody else in the community, we had our struggles with the pandemic, but we made it through, and we're here today and doing our part as essential workers.
Well, Eloy, thanks again for taking time out of your day to be with us and talk about the ILA.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Appreciate it. At Port Houston, we consistently provide top-notch, world-class container service and use the latest technology to move your goods efficiently through our port. So here's a trivia question for you. What is the average turn time for a truck through the Port of Houston's container terminals? Check out this video for the answer.
At Port Houston, we know your time is valuable. That's why we commit to providing you with efficient customer service every day. We directly operate 2 container terminals, Bayport and Barbers Cut. We employ a team of experts in their field and partner with the ILA to provide skilled and ample labor at our facilities. We put our people first, and for that reason, our highest priorities are safety and training. Striving to be the best place to work is what keeps your cargo moving safely and efficiently. At Port Houston's 2 container terminals, the average vessel stay is just 24 hours. The loading and unloading of ships is a joint effort between the steamship line Stevedore and Port Houston alongside our partners. Workers from the ILA use the 12 Super Post Panamax ship-to-shore cranes at Bayport and 15 cranes at Barbers Cut to expertly maneuver the containers at the vessels. Barbers Cut features 6,000 feet of continuous wharf, and Bayport has 4,000 feet. More than 100 total RTGs move the containers throughout the 375 acres at Bayport and 230 acres at Barbers Cut. Truck movements are equally efficient.
Our goal is to make the trucker as efficient as possible. We've invested heavily in RTGs as support equipment for the yard to turn the trucker. In addition to the equipment, we've also invested heavily in digitization of how we dispatch jobs to the RTG operator. Our goal is to give the truck driver the opportunity to make as many turns in one day as possible.
Port Houston's 2020 lost time incident rate was 0.25, well below the industry average. We take great pride in bringing such a high level of commitment and safety to our customers every day.
Our primary goal is to ensure safety. We have the lowest lost time frequency rate in the country among port authorities, and our goal is that everybody goes home safe.
Thousands of drivers arrive to Port Houston's truck gates every day. The Port Houston team processes as many as 11,000 transactions each day. Technology like facial recognition, express pass entrance, and automated TWIC readers, combined with the 75-member logistics and operations team, keep this entire process running smoothly. In fact, Port Houston has an average truck turn time of under 40 minutes.
So the Port of Houston is one of our secrets to success. And why that is they are totally aligned with what X-Cargo is about, and that is technology, information, great service, and safety. In the time I've been in business, the port has only gotten better at all of those things, and that allows us to do a much better job for our customers, allows our customers to make better decisions.
Port Houston's website and customer service portal display vessel schedules, gate cameras, wharf cameras, and container tracking tools in real time. Need to know when your import container left Port Houston? Log into the customer service portal and check.
We're an operating port, and for that reason, we invest every dollar we earn directly into our own facilities. And because we own the customer experience, more and more BCOs across the country, from California to New York, from Dallas-Fort Worth to Houston, are choosing Port Houston as their preferred gateway. With weekly direct all-water services from North and Southeast Asia via the Panama Canal, from Europe, the Med, and the Indian subcontinent via the Suez, from Central and South America to Port Houston, we're the reliable partner connecting your cargo to every corner of the world.
To maintain best-in-class efficiency, Port Houston is committed to pairing the best team with the greatest technological advancements. Whether you're an ocean carrier, shipper, drayage provider, warehouse, longshoreman, or any vital role in the supply chain, you can count on Port Houston to keep your cargo moving.
Well, you heard it there. We have an average truck turn time of under 40 minutes. And this is where the action happens. This is our logistics center, where our team members greet each truck that arrives here. To give us a little more insight of what happens in this room and how the process works, I'm joined today by Candace Armenhoff, who's our customer service manager. Candace, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Roger.
You know, we handle thousands of trucks, and customer service is critical for our industry. Tell me a little bit about your approach and how you handle customer service at Port Houston.
You know, there's a lot that goes into customer service.
Sure.
We have a wide variety of customers that rely on us to move their cargo and their trucks safely and quickly. This team recognizes that a driver's visit to our facility is just a small portion of that driver's day, so we do everything we can to expedite that driver's visit with us. We've invested a lot in tools and technology to help that quick service, but also to help our customers obtain the information that they need.
And we provide a great customer service. As not only being the owner of the port, we're the operator of the port, and I think that makes a big difference to our customer.
I agree.
I also have with us today Sophia Avila. How you doing today?
Hi.
She's a logistics coordinator for us, and Sophia, we see, I think, averaging as many as 10,000 truck transactions each and every day, which is probably about 7,000 trucks that come in and out. About how many of those do you see and handle every single day?
I average about 300 trucks that I talk to daily to get them in and out as quickly as we can.
And that's the important part, right? Is keeping that efficiency, get them to the yard, and then so they can get their container and get out.
Absolutely.
So, what do you like working about at the port? And what kind of drives you to come here every day?
I work with a really great group of people, and just the satisfaction of helping the driver and knowing that you are an essential part of helping him move the goods that support our economy is gratifying and very exciting.
Well, that's good, and we do have a great team here. It makes Port Houston a very efficient terminal. There's been some changes that have happened in the last year, Candace. With the pandemic, we've had to continue to evolve to keep our people safe. What are some of those changes that you've seen here in this group?
Yeah, just on the surface, you may see that the staff is spread out very far to accommodate social distancing, and we're also masked whenever we're in the building to make everybody safe as best we can.
Well, that's great, and that's the whole thing, is keeping these people in this center and everywhere else safe, because they are essential workers and they have to be here. The port hadn't closed, and to keep your cargo moving. So one other thing, everybody knows that historically there's not a lot of women in the maritime industry, and I think that's changing a bit, but we want to change that more. In fact, we want to increase the diversity and inclusion of our whole organization, and I think we're taking some good steps to do that. And what's your perception of that? How's that going in Port Houston?
Yeah, I see Port Houston prioritizing diversity and inclusion. For example, something that comes to mind is we've now started including a D&I moment at the beginning of some of our larger internal meetings. Traditionally, we've done safety meetings, or safety moments in those meetings, but today we've started to add those D&I moments, and it's really setting the tone for the meeting, and hopefully, eventually, we'll set the tone for the decisions coming from those meetings as well.
I think you're right, and that communication is important, because you mentioned safety, just like safety, we have to have diversity and inclusion as a fabric of our culture as we move forward. So anyway, Candace, Sophia, thank you very much for joining us today. Appreciate your time, and I'll let you get back to work. I know you're busy.
Thank you.
So over the past year, we've seen so many changes to the way we live our lives, right? And one big change that has meant big opportunity is the e-commerce boom. As people stayed safe in their houses, they turned to shopping online for what they needed. This e-commerce growth led to a need for more warehouses, and companies like Ross Stores and Five Below recently that saw the benefits of choosing Houston as a hub for their business and Port Houston as their new gateway. Let's take a closer look now at the economic growth in our area.
Port Houston is doing its part to help Texans. Texas is a big state and is growing fast. Texas is the #1 state in U.S. exports, and Houston is the largest export metro in the country. On a global scale, Texas has the 9th largest economy in the world. Texas is the energy capital of North America. We have one of the largest energy reserves on the planet, and the Houston Ship Channel is home to the largest petrochemical complex in the nation. With the growing list of companies relocating to Texas, like Occidental, Amazon, HP, and Tesla, Port Houston is doing its part to ensure we have the necessary capacity to support Texan exports and an efficient and reliable gateway to support our huge economy. There are more than 29 million Texans, and we are the fastest growing state in the U.S. The Lone Star State is a preferred destination for Americans looking for a better way of life, and the Houston area is projected to increase in population by 7.1% over the next 5 years. As we add more Texans every day, Port Houston, also known as the International Port of Texas, is helping by supporting retail distribution networks, warehousing, and vital port infrastructure to ensure a reliable and efficient supply chain for imports too. Port Houston is also the grantee of the Harris County Foreign Trade Zone. A foreign trade zone, or FTZ, is not just one area, but is land within the United States that is legally considered to be outside of U.S. customs territory. FTZs were initially established nearly 100 years ago to encourage and attract foreign commerce. Foreign Trade Zone 84 includes many privately owned and port-owned sites located throughout Houston, Harris County, Texas, and surrounding areas. FTZ 84 is currently ranked #1 in the U.S. for total merchandise received. One of the primary benefits of using an FTZ is for import duty and tariff savings. Customs duties on imported goods entering the zone can be delayed until the cargo is moved out. No duty is paid if the merchandise is exported directly from the zone. That means the time between import and export allows a company to delay or even eliminate duty expenses while reassembly or manufacturing activities take place to prepare products for the market. Port Houston's economic development team is able to assist importers and exporters with import distribution network planning decisions, local, county, and state incentives, and setting up a foreign trade zone, and show how locating an import distribution center, warehouse, or foreign trade zone here can benefit your business. In 2020, Port Houston expanded its footprint by adding 9 foreign trade zone sites and also reached an agreement with Waller County to administer its FTZs. 3 local economic development partnership agreements were renewed in 2022 with Baytown West Chambers, the Economic Alliance, and Bay Area Houston Economic Partnership. All of that activity directly supports economic development and jobs in this region, like assembly and light manufacturing jobs. E-commerce is bigger than ever, and that has meant growth for the Houston region as well. 2 new import distribution centers were announced in 2020, including Ross stores with 2 million square feet and Five Below with 860,000 square feet in Montgomery County. These import distribution centers can serve both the increase in e-commerce along with traditional brick-and-mortar stores in the region. In fact, Houston was the choice for several major distribution centers in recent years. Furniture distributor IKEA acquired more than 143 acres in Northeast Houston for a distribution center that will top 1 million square feet. Dollar Tree recently completed its 1.2 million square foot new distribution center in Rosenberg, investing $130 million in the facility. These retailers understand the benefits of choosing Houston. Our unique location and extensive sailing schedule offer a distinct advantage. Port Houston's skilled and dedicated workforce, along with expansive infrastructure, combine to provide world-class customer service. When you're making decisions about your business, consider Houston and FTZ 84. For details, visit www.porthouston.com.
We're thrilled to see this type of growth for Houston and for Harris County in our region. In fact, the Houston Ship Channel overall is growing, and this will positively impact us at Port Houston and the more than 200 private terminals that are served by the Houston Ship Channel. Do you know what major distinction the Houston Ship Channel gained in 2020? We are now the #1 port in the nation in terms of total tonnage and maintain being the busiest waterway in the nation. This is huge. The Houston Ship Channel is a critical piece of infrastructure for our entire nation. It is the largest export manufacturing region in America. The Houston Ship Channel continues to sustain more than 3 million jobs and generates more than $800 billion in economic activity annually. A major role for the Port Houston is to be the advocate and strategic leader for the Houston Ship Channel. To talk more about that, I'm joined today by our chairman of the Port Houston Authority, Rick Campo. Rick, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thanks, Roger. And I got to tell you that, this is really an exciting time for Port Houston. When Roger talks about growth, what he's really talking about is jobs. Because in order to keep the job growth going for our region, we need a deeper and wider channel. And as a matter of fact, when you think about Project 11, which we've been talking about for a long time now, a real long time. We started Project 11, if you can imagine this, in 2014. In 2014, we had the 2014 WRDA, and that allowed us to then start the mega study that sort of lit the fuse for Project 11. In the last 12 months, we've had major milestones on Project 11. We had the Corps of Engineers Army Chiefs Report approved. We had WRDA 2020 approved, and Port Houston got a new start as well earlier this year, which means that we will be able to start the Section 1A of the deepening and widening in the next year, within the next 12 months. And so actually in 2021,
later this year.
Yeah,
is what we're planning
on
on doing.
So Roger, tell me, I mean, it took a long time to get here, but man, the last year has just been fast-paced getting it done. I mean, how did y'all do that? I mean, congratulations to the Port Houston team, the Corps of Engineers, and all the people that supported you in that. I mean, it's just awesome.
Well, our team's done an exceptional job. Working with our partner at the Army Corps of Engineers to get to this point. It's highly unusual to get the authorization and the new start so quickly together, but we're prepared. And the thing that we have done as well is we've already completed the design ahead of schedule, so we don't have to wait any longer. It's all about expediting the start of construction for the Houston Ship Channel.
And that's really about the Port Authority being really financially strong. When you think about our role in the Corps of Engineers project, we have to pay 35% of that cost of $1 billion when you start thinking about that. So with industry support and the fact that our customers help create this financial strength, we're going to have a more efficient port. You're going to be able to get your ships in and out on a more efficient basis. We're investing not only in the channel, but also in the terminals to make sure that all of our customers and all of the employees and everyone who works in and around the region are able to get their work done much more efficiently. And when you think about an efficient, deeper and wider channel, it's also a safer channel. We want to make sure that we have high priority of safety for the channel, for all of our workers here at Bayport and at Barber's Cut, and really throughout the 200 terminals that we have in Port Houston. It's just an amazing time to be part of Port Houston. We really appreciate and thank all of our customers and everybody, the ILA and all of the seafarers. I mean, you guys are doing a great job, and we're just happy to be part of the equation.
No, well, thank you, Rick. I appreciate your time, appreciate your service and commitment to the port. We know this channel, Project 11, the deepening and widening project, is very important. It's vital to our region and the nation. So thanks for being here, and thank our other commissioners as well for their service and guidance they give us on this project. So thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
This project is important not only for our region. An expanded channel will benefit all users, both from the private side as well as the public side. Private facilities will be able to safely navigate these larger liquid vessels to support our energy industry. And for the public facilities, the completion of the project will mean Port Houston container terminals will welcome this new generation of Neo-Panamax vessels into Houston. These are the largest ships that can go through the Panama Canal. Here now are the details about what's in store in the future for Houston and our ship channel, and what the importance of Project 11 is.
The Houston Ship Channel and nearly 200 facilities doing business alongside it are an integral part of the regional, state, and national economy. You may not realize it, but this channel is an economic powerhouse, a unique waterway that has driven and shaped our great city for more than a century. Steel to the liquid bulk that supports our vast petrochemical complex, to the everyday items in your household, and everything in between has crossed Houston's docks. Today, Houston's port supports 3.2 million U.S. jobs and generates $802 billion in economic value nationally, making it the largest port in the country for waterborne cargo and keeping Texas and our region as the top exporters in the nation. Simply put, the Houston Ship Channel plays a meaningful part in all of our lives. Maintaining and growing these economic benefits requires planning and investing in the channel's future. Expanding the Houston Ship Channel, the busiest deep draft waterway in the nation, is critical to safely and efficiently sustaining national energy security, domestic manufacturing growth, thriving U.S. exports, and expanding job opportunities. As the local sponsor of this crucial federal waterway, Port Houston is partnering with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers as well as private industry on a plan to expand the channel at an accelerated pace. This plan is known as Project 11, representing the 11th major improvement project in the channel's 150-plus year history as a commercial waterway. Project 11 will widen the channel by 170 feet along its Galveston Bay reach from 530 feet to 700 feet, deepen upstream segments up to 46.5 feet, construct new environmental features, improve air quality by enabling more efficient vessel movements, resulting in reduced emissions, accommodate larger vessels, and make other efficiency improvements. A wider channel is a safer channel. As vessel sizes increase and cargo numbers rise, we must prepare to handle the demand. The Houston Ship Channel expansion is vital to the continued prosperity of the greater Houston region, the state, and the nation. Throughout our history, during times of economic prosperity or recovery, the Ship Channel has played a critical role in facilitating growth and commerce for those employers and manufacturers who rely on this nationally significant waterway. For more information about this project, to provide comments, or to join the project mailing list, visit expandthehoustonshipchannel.com or email the project team at project11@porthouston.com.
So now that we have the go-ahead to begin turning dirt for Project 11, which will accommodate ships even larger than you see behind me, we are now full steam ahead and looking forward. And we have big plans for the future at Port Houston. In 2020, we published our 2040 plan, which is our master plan for the next 2 decades. We continue our commitment to providing opportunity for all through our business equity program, which includes minority and women-owned businesses, as well as small business. We also are committed to environmental sustainability. You heard earlier how we are considering the environment when it comes to Project 11. But our focus isn't limited to that project. Here's another trivia question for you. By what percent has Port Houston reduced its carbon footprint? Here's a video with the answer.
For nearly 40 years, Port Houston has been a top port for environmental stewardship, leadership that continues today. In 2002, we were the first port authority to receive ISO 14001 certification. And in 2020, we achieved another first. Port Houston is the first port authority in the world to choose 100% asset-backed renewable electricity at our facilities. This will eliminate about 25,000 tons of carbon dioxide from our carbon footprint each year and help improve the air quality for our region.
Our 10-year renewable electricity contract will save us over 250,000 tons of carbon dioxide over the course of the contract. That's huge. Once we realized that we would be saving money as well in the meantime, it was a win-win.
Port Houston purchases only diesel-electric hybrid, rubber-tired gantry cranes, and in 2020 added 5 new electric vehicles to the fleet. Also in 2020, Port Houston became the first port in Texas to use an electric terminal tractor to move containers around the Bayport Container Terminal, all of which helps reduce emissions. The port's efforts have already reduced Port Houston's carbon footprint 55% since 2016. Earlier this year, the port's Clean Air Strategy Plan was released, with strategies and tactics for further reduction. Port Houston's environmental efforts don't stop with air quality. In 2020, we purchased the first Waste Shark drone to gather data on the water quality and help clean up to 350 pounds of litter daily in the Houston Ship Channel. Recycling has long been a focus, and in 2020, Port Houston recycled 76,000 tons of construction materials, tires, paper, e-waste, and other items. The whole Port Houston team takes great pride in environmental leadership.
Now, our stewardship goes well beyond just the environmental department. Other departments such as safety, maintenance, and operations all play a huge part in implementing the plans for us to get to a sustainable future.
From air quality to recycling, Port Houston is leading the sustainable way.
55% carbon footprint reduction. That's a number I'm proud of. Before we leave today, we want to share with you some details of how we'll continue to build our infrastructure to provide you with the most efficiency for movement of your goods. I'm joined today by Rohit Saxena. He's the director of our facility planning. So as the leader of our planning and infrastructure growth in 2040 plan, what are your top development projects that you're working on?
Thanks, Roger. At Port Houston, we take a holistic approach towards planning, and our growth is not just about building infrastructure. Integrating environmental and sustainable business practices, emerging technology, community connections, and safety and security are vital components of our decision-making process. To support growth of our region and trade forecasts, we will continue to build capacity at both our container terminals, Barbers Cut and Bayport, and we plan to increase their capacity to handle up to 7 million TEUs by 2040. Our other flagship project is the Bayport Complex development.
That's great, because I think it's so important not just to plan for the short term. We got to plan for the long term so that we can be prepared with our infrastructure. So we're here now at the Bayport Container Terminal, right? But we've also got some plans for our multi-purpose facilities as well.
Yes, our multi-purpose facilities, majority of them are at our Turning Basin Terminal, which is also our oldest terminal. We have plans to rehabilitate the infrastructure at Turning Basin, and we are currently evaluating opportunities to optimize our operations and operational flexibility for our multi-purpose facilities.
Well, that's exactly right, and we continue to make those investments to stay ahead of the demand that we plan to see over the next 5, 10, 20 years here in Houston. So thank you, Rohit, for joining us. Well, all right, let's take another closer look at some of the plans.
Port Houston is the fastest growing of the top 10 container ports in the U.S. It's the largest on the U.S. Gulf Coast, handling 69% of Gulf Coast container traffic. At Port Houston, infrastructure is being built now to meet the changing needs of vessels and businesses. 3 ways we're preparing are the Houston Ship Channel expansion, known as Project 11, the Bayport Container Terminal build-out, and the renovation of the Barbers Cut Container Terminal. As the advocate and strategic leader of the Houston Ship Channel, we help ensure this vital waterway remains the powerful economic engine it is today. The Houston Ship Channel expansion, Project 11, will make it safer and more efficient for vessels to navigate the channel. Plans include widening the Houston Ship Channel from 530 feet to 700 feet. Project 11 will increase width of the channel at our Barbers Cut Container Terminal from 300 to 455 feet. It will also improve the Bayport section of the ship channel, increasing its width from 350 to 455 feet, and will feature a modified entrance to reduce shoaling. We've got plans to continue growing the infrastructure at both container terminals. We will add 3 more berths to the Bayport Container Terminal, bringing our total berths to 7, and capacity to handle 2.3 million TEUs by 2030. By that time, we will have 21 ship-to-shore cranes and 84 rubber-tired gantry cranes working at the facility. We are also rehabilitating the wharves and container yards at our Barbers Cut Terminal to densify the facility and ensure it's equipped to support trade for the next 40-plus years. By the year 2040, the Bayport and Barbers Cut container terminals will both be fully optimized with capacity to handle an estimated 7 million TEUs. The terminal enhancements will generate more than 32,000 jobs and add approximately $1.6 billion to the Texas economy. In addition to building infrastructure, we are focusing on continued efficiency because we understand the value of greater velocity of goods movement. Plans include increased transloading ability, warehousing capabilities, and the addition of an intermodal rail yard adjacent to the Bayport Container Terminal complex. Plus, continued use of innovative technology will improve terminal efficiency and maximize our supply chain visibility and world-class logistics support. In total, $1.4 billion in capital investments are planned over the next 5 years and potential $4+ billion over 20 years to enhance Port Houston's facilities and the waterway. Port Houston is a steward of progress. See the full 2040 plan at www.porthouston.com/2040
So there you have it. We are excited for the future and invite you to stay up to date. Here's how you can stay in touch with what's going on. On behalf of all of us at Port Houston, thank you for your support. Stay safe, and we look forward to navigating the future together.